The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, trust your family with our family. The Bianchi Law Group, a team of former prosecutors who handle criminal matters, domestic violence, and municipal court throughout the state of New Jersey. Dr. K, the management professor and author of Rockstar Manager, From Theory to Practice. The authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, 5 Generations of Authentic Italian Recipes. Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodge of New York. The Grand Lodge of Delaware. The Grand Lodge of Ohio. The Grand Lodge of Virginia. The Grand Lodge of Rhode Island. The Grand Lodge of Maryland. The Grand Lodge of the Northwest, representing Oregon and Washington. Long Shot Productions, get back in the game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing. And by Silver Spring Capital. Silver Spring Capital Wealth Management is a proud and longtime supporter of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.
Welcome. My name is Bob Bianchi. I'm the National President of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It's my great honor to be part of this oldest and largest Italian-American organization in the United States. We literally have raised tens of millions of dollars for people that are in need, for charities that reach from Cooley's anemia, autism, Alzheimer's, all the way to our disaster relief, and millions of dollars of scholarships that we give to our deserving students in the organization. I have Dr. Mary Kovacs with me, who is going to introduce one of our great guests that we're having. I'm really excited about this. This is the second interview we've done. It's going to be part of the TV show that we have going across all our social media platforms. And what I'd like to say before Mary makes the introduction is that if you're interested in being part of an organization that is making a difference in the local community, because the Sons and Daughters of Italy aren't just a list of people that donate money. We actually have lodges on the local level and on the state level and on the national level, making a difference in the community every day. Mary?
Thanks, Bob. Well, I'd like to introduce our very special guest today, Mr. Tom Golisano, the founder of Paychex Payroll Services, which he started in 1971 with $3,000 and now has a market cap of $44 billion. Mr. Golisano owned the Buffalo Sabres hockey team, which was bankrupt when he first purchased it, turned them into a winning team, and also financially successful. He's also the author of 2 books, Built Not Born, A Self-Made Billionaire's No-Nonsense Guide for Entrepreneurs, and The Italian Kid Did It. He's a philanthropist who donated more than $300 million to a variety of charities, and a first-generation Italian-American from the Rochester, New York area. Welcome back, Mr. Golisano.
Nice to be here, Mary.
So Tom, one of the questions that struck me is, by the way, you may have gotten my father's poem, I Am an Italian-American. My dad wrote that in 1982. And he wrote it during a period of time where, as a government, he was being appointed to a government position. He's an attorney by trade. And when he was having the background check, they literally accused him of being involved in organized crime and that they were going to reject the governor's nomination when my father had the fit that he should have had, because he has, our family has done nothing but public service throughout all of our lives. The state trooper actually said to him, "Please relax, Mr. Bianchi. We found nothing, but this is what we're told to do with everybody that's got a vowel at the end of the name to see how they respond to it." And I will tell you, in an interesting kind of fashion going forward, when I was being considered to be nominated by the governor to be prosecutor, all of a sudden things seemed to change. I mean, there was discrimination about Italian Americans on one end, that we weren't worthy of certain positions. And then all of a sudden it became like, well, you guys have enough. We want to give it to quote unquote other people. So your book, the Italian Kid theme that made it, struck me. And I'm wondering if any of the overtones of what I'm talking about are part of your experience.
Very much so, Bob. The title, The Italian Kid Did It, has a lot to do with something that happened to me back in the late 50s. I was a 15-year-old living in the average suburban town, and the person across the street diagonally from my house was a car dealer, and he had two new cars in his driveway every afternoon. Well, one Friday afternoon, evidently somebody took one of the cars, for a ride and ditched it someplace on the other side of town. Well, the next morning, the Arundel police were at my house talking to my father, and as I came in the house, my father said, "These officers want to talk to you." We went outside. They told me the story about the car being gone, and the fact that the person that owned the car said, "Well, the Italian kid across the street did it, I'm sure." So that stayed with me. Fortunately, I had a terrific alibi. I was with a friend's house with his parents there, so I did not get into any trouble, nor did I deserve to get into any trouble. But that story always stayed with me. And back in the 50s and 60s, there definitely was a lot of conversation about Italians. And I remember all the names we were called and all the things that we couldn't do. I know when I got out of high school, I applied for jobs at the three big companies in Rochester. None of them would even talk to me until after I went to college. And then over time, it changed. So, but I think that had a very positive effect on my life because I developed a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. In other words, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be honorable. I wanted to be respected in the community because we had suffered some of the ills of not having that respect. So it kind of inspired me. And so I'm glad it did. It was not a lot of fun when it was happening, but as it turned out, and of course, what's happened now in the United States for sure, is that people are much more tolerant, much more understanding, and we have a much better status or standing in our country today.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento.
Grandma passed on two family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
The Sons of Italy Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It was founded in 1959 with the purpose of preserving Italian American culture, encouraging educational excellence among Italian Americans, and assisting in other areas such as veterans' causes and disaster relief. To date, the Sons of Italy Foundation has given tens of millions of dollars to these efforts. For more information on the foundation or to donate, contact us today. Want to grow your business? Advertise with the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. We have several opportunities with our Sunday night TV show and the ability to live stream from anywhere. Advertise in our printed Italian America magazine, distributed quarterly to over 30,000 households across the U.S. Publicize in our business directory to a global membership with very reasonable advertising packages. If you're interested in advertising, contact sales@osdia.org.
My name is Bob Bianchi. I'm the national president of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest and oldest Italian-American organization in the United States, with also lodges in Canada and Italy. It's my great honor to preside over the Supreme Lodge as the national president and also as the chairman of the board to our two arms of the organization, the Sons of Italy Foundation, which has donated tens of millions of dollars for charities, scholarships, veterans, and all sorts of positive causes, as well as the other arm of the organization, which is the Commission for Social Justice. That's our anti-discrimination and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It is a great organization to be involved in. With an Italian flair, you can help contribute to your community, to our veterans causes, to all of our charities, to the scholarships, and be part of a great organization that does such great work. All you got to do is go to www.osia.org and join the party. We'd love to have you. Thank you. Tom, just if I could follow up with that, my father wrote that I Am an Italian American poem in 1982 because of that discrimination. And so I think about that a lot. But something I also think about is that we, I think, as an ethnic group, I'm curious about your opinion about this, have patriated ourselves into the American system so fluidly compared to other ethnic groups before us. And we've made such great contributions as Italian Americans to this community. We've never asked for anything. We've never asked for a handout. We've never asked we worked hard. We believed in our faith. We believed in our families, and we became successful. And when there were downturns, and that's why I want to kind of segue into your great business, which is amazing to me as a business person myself, that we didn't accept no for an answer. We didn't blame anybody else for our failures. I'm sure along the way you had some difficulties. You don't get to where you go and be as successful as you are without controversies. Do you think the Italian experience you grew up with helped you navigate those things?
Oh, absolutely, it did. And I think one of the great tributes we should make as Italians is to some of the leaders that we had. And somebody as prominent as Joe DiMaggio. I think Joe DiMaggio probably had so much to do with the attitude and tolerance level for Italians. And there were many, many others that followed, people that were successful in business, people that were successful in government, and people that were successful in athletics or sports. All of them helped, and they all had good moral standing in the community. That also made it a real plus. So sure, it helped. And certainly we have to be thankful for those individuals.
Mary?
Well, thank you. And thank you again for joining us. You've made such a profound impact throughout your career. You created a multi-billion-dollar organization from scratch. You ran for governor. You owned an NHL hockey team with the sole intention to help your local community. What do you want for your legacy, or how do you want to be remembered?
Well, I think I'd like to be remembered as an individual who had integrity and character, who worked very hard in building a business. And it was not easy in the early years. I mean, the first 4 years, I didn't receive a paycheck. I kind of was working for nothing. But in the long run, it paid off. All the years of hard work and persevering and staying with it really paid off. And the fact that we're responsible, the company has 16,000 employees. We have over 730,000 companies that we're responsible for providing their payroll service and other HR services. That kind of legacy rings true with me. I mean, I'm very proud of it. Happy to have had worked with such great people at Paychex, and they're still great, and they're still doing wonderful jobs there.
That's amazing. You've given hundreds of millions of dollars to philanthropic endeavors. You also have a family foundation dedicated to those who are developmentally challenged. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We have we had a child in 1960 something that was developmentally disabled. And of course, it was a real shock to myself, to my wife, to the family. And we didn't know quite how to handle it initially. But Gloria, my wife, she got very involved in that community and encouraged me to set up a family foundation to help others who are in similar circumstances. And that foundation now has been going since 1987. It gives out millions of dollars every year to organizations that help people with developmental disabilities. And generally, not just in the Rochester area, but also in Southern Florida, Southwestern Florida, where I spend my winters. The foundation has received great acclaim from that community, and we can think we're going to continue to do that for a long time, long number of years after I'm gone.
The Commission for Social Justice, CSJ, is the anti-defamation and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The CSJ conducts campaigns at both community and national levels that support cultural and social issues of importance to Italian Americans, including the preservation of Columbus Day and his legacy. For more information on the CSJ or to donate, contact us today.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento.
Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
And always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
The Sons of Italy Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It was founded in 1959 with the purpose of preserving Italian American culture, encouraging educational excellence among Italian Americans, and assisting in other areas such as veterans' causes and disaster relief. To date, the Sons of Italy Foundation has given tens of millions of dollars to these efforts. For more information on the foundation or to donate, contact us today.
Well, Tom, that's a great legacy. And I think that there's a lot of symbiotic relationship between what it is that your foundation is doing and what it is that our foundation is doing. And I'm curious about your thought on this. And I'm not sure if, we have to address the problem first as Italian Americans before we can move forward. So back in the day when Dr. Vincenzo Solero started the organization in 1905 in New York, it was to help Italians who needed a place, the medical services and wives whose husbands were lost because of hazardous work, who couldn't get buried literally within their communities and needed money to be buried outside of the state and other locations. And like I said before, I think we've advanced very quickly and we don't need that anymore. But what we transitioned into as a group is one that has our Italian culture and flair, but also, like I said before, we have these local lodges. I was just at one the other night. We had a meatball contest. Something was kind of fun, which is dangerous to be judging a meatball contest. I'm not going to lie to you. I was nervous, but they're raising funds for police officers and Marines who were killed in the line of duty in order to give scholarships to their children. So we have this local thing. And then on the national level, we're giving tens of millions of dollars away to charity. My question to you, and I talk to my dad about this all the time, is we're trying to find a way to get younger people to want to be invested in an organization where they can make that kind of difference with that Italian feel to it. Do you think that this is something the younger people would be interested in? Because it seems sometimes that maybe they're distracted with other things.
Well, I hope so, Bob. I mean, because our heritage is just fantastic. And you mentioned a word earlier as you asked the question, the word food. I think one of the things that made Italians much more acceptable in this community, the United States of America, is our food. Everybody likes it. Everybody enjoys it. So I think that was a big help. But yes, we need to get the young people involved. If we want to continue this heritage, this heredity, we need to get the young people involved. And I know it takes work and it takes effort, but it's not easy, but we still have to do it.
And Mary?
So you wrote an autobiography and a business book in the last 2 years. Now that you've had a little bit of time, since I know you retired as chairman from Paychecks, can we expect a third book? If not, what's next?
I do not anticipate having a third book, although I'm working on a special project right now, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. That is totally different from what I've been used to. It's not a business and it's not a charity, so to speak, but something I'm very interested in, something that I think needs a lot of work in this country, and that's higher. I'll tell you, it's higher education. I plan on doing some work in that area, and I'm looking at it very enthusiastically. I think there's a lot that can be done.
Yeah, so Tom, in a short period of time that we have left, I will go into a space that I like to talk about a lot on a podcast that I actually run, which is called Nothing But the Truth. But that podcast deals with people who have been very successful. It doesn't have to be financially successful. It can be successful in doing charitable work or doing volunteer work. And tell us, what are the qualities that you see that made you who you are, not only as a successful business person, but giving back to the community and those in your milieu, in your background? What are making these people successful business people and ultimately successful philanthropists?
Well, I think a lot has to do with the circumstances in which you grow up. For example, my family suffered some tragedies. First of all, I had a brother killed in the Korean War. I had a sister who became disabled. She lost her right hand in an accident in a supermarket. My mom and dad went through very severe financial difficulties. They had to go through bankruptcy. I watched as the guy came and got the car. All those types of things had an influence. And plus, being Italian and wanting to succeed and do better, I think all those things had a factor in my desire to achieve or overachieve. Fortunately, we picked the great marketplace of the small business entrepreneurs for paychecks, and that's been a big help. Today, the idea of giving resources to organizations that need the funding, to me, first of all, I'm going to be very cutesy here for a second. I can't take it with me, that's for sure. Okay. And my family is well taken care of. So whatever I can do for the general communities, I'm very willing to do it. And upon my passing, my estate will continue to be very, very generous to organizations that deal with developmental disabilities, children's hospitals, colleges and universities, and so forth.
The Commission for Social Justice, CSJ, is the anti-defamation and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The CSJ conducts campaigns at both community and national levels that support cultural and social issues of importance to Italian Americans, including the preservation of Columbus Day and his legacy. For more information on the CSJ or to donate, contact us today. The Sons of Italy Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It was founded in 1959 with the purpose of preserving Italian American culture, encouraging educational excellence among Italian Americans, and assisting in other areas such as veterans' causes and disaster relief. To date, the Sons of Italy Foundation has given tens of millions of dollars to these efforts. For more information on the foundation or to donate, contact us today. Want to grow your business? Advertise with the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. We have several opportunities with our Sunday night TV show and the ability to live stream from anywhere. Advertise in our printed Italian America magazine, distributed quarterly to over 30,000 households across the U.S. Publicize in our business directory to a global membership with very reasonable advertising packages. If you're interested in advertising, contact sales@osdia.org.
My name is Bob Bianchi. I'm the national president of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest and oldest Italian-American organization in the United States, with also lodges in Canada and Italy. It's my great honor to preside over the Supreme Lodge as the national president and also as the chairman of the board to our two arms of the organization, the Sons of Italy Foundation, which has donated tens of millions of dollars for charities, scholarships, veterans, and all sorts of positive causes, as well as the other arm of the organization, which is the Commission for Social Justice. That's our anti-discrimination and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It is a great organization to be involved in. With an Italian flair, you can help contribute to your community, to our veterans causes, to all of our charities, to the scholarships, and be part of a great organization that does such great work. All you got to do is go to www.osia.org and join the party. We'd love to have you. Thank you. Just one last, and I'll let Mary finish it up with the final question. I have found in all the people that I have brought on my show, whether they be successful actors or entrepreneurs like yourself, there always seems to be this feeling of self-giving, giving back. But it seemed to me that a lot of them that are really balanced, the ones who are really making a difference in the world, have come from difficult circumstances. And so it wasn't just handed to them. They earned it because they came from difficult places. Do you think that that struggle is important for people like you to be able to put life in perspective and not just to have something handed to them?
Well, there's no question it's character building. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't wish these circumstances on any family that we had to go through, because they were very painful and very difficult at the time. But certainly a tough life initially, it causes some reaction to it. And either it could be very positive, sometimes it could be negative. People could rebel. I just happened, luckily, to choose the path of wanting to succeed and wanting to build a claim for myself and my family. And I guess we've been able to do that.
That's awesome. Mary?
Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit about the next generation. What advice do you have for young entrepreneurs?
The advice I have for young entrepreneurs, I'll give you 2 bits of advice, which I think are very important. The first one, there are many, many new frontiers out there. So don't get discouraged if you can't find an opportunity right away. They are out there. And secondly, if you do find that opportunity, remember this. Once you hang up your shingle on your door and you have a product or a service to sell, don't expect the world to come to you. You've got to go out to the world. It's not easy. It's very difficult in the beginning, but you have to go out and work hard to build up your revenue and your sales for your company. People will not just come to you just because you're there.
Excellent advice. Thank you.
Tom, I'll give you the last word for any advice they may have for either an Italian-American organization, entrepreneurs, or whatever as we close the show.
Entrepreneurs, I think, are a greatest thing for this country. And everything we can do to celebrate them, to embrace them, to encourage them, and all of those things are very, very important. I wish our governments would be more interested in celebrating entrepreneurship than they seem to be. To me, it's the nature of our economy. It's so important. And entrepreneurs make the world go around. And you know what? You don't have to be the owner of the company to be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur within your employer's realm. Just act, do the things that entrepreneurs do: build revenue, save operating costs, make profits, create jobs. You don't have to own the company to do all those things. You can do it working for another employer.
Excellent advice. Okay, Dr. Mary Kovacs, I really appreciate it. Tom Golisano, thank you so much for the second interview. Impressed us so much the first time. And we're very proud of you as an Italian-American. It's accomplished everything that you have, but moreover, for the kind of man that you are and giving back. So Tom Golisano, folks, don't forget to watch us on all of our social media platforms, as well as on our TV show that streams across the country, but also reaches 3.9 million homes in the tri-state area. Have a great day.
For more information on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and how to join, please visit osdia.org. Please also follow us on social media. The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, trust your family with our family. The Bianchi Law Group, a team of former prosecutors who handle criminal matters, domestic violence, and municipal court throughout the state of New Jersey. Dr. K, the management professor and author of Rockstar Manager, From Theory to Practice. The authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, 5 Generations of Authentic Italian Recipes. Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodge of New York. The Grand Lodge of Delaware. The Grand Lodge of Ohio. The Grand Lodge of Virginia. The Grand Lodge of Rhode Island. The Grand Lodge of Maryland. The Grand Lodge of the Northwest, representing Oregon and Washington. Long Shot Productions, get back in the game. ACMT, excellence in aerospace manufacturing. And by Silver Spring Capital. Silver Spring Capital Wealth Management is a proud and longtime supporter of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.